just like that. Our final product all done. Here's your piece that'll get welded on, nice and clean. Okay, we are back tomorrow, continuing my part 2 of this. And I moved over here because my light helps me a lot more. This actually came out pretty flat though. There's not much, maybe a little rock, but not much in there. Could be the weld still. But anyway, back to this. I want these to go. Here's my project. Got that angle, flat bar, hinges will go like that, and that piece go like that. So I want to go probably about an inch down like that, and then an inch down like that. Makes sense, doesn't have to be exact. So it's kind of hard to measure like this. You can measure like that, but then you'd have to wrap that whole mark around. So what I did was got a 1-inch fireball shim, magnetic, helps. Put it on a square and just stuck it down like that and put a mark like that. Same thing over there, so that'll help with that. Now what I gotta do is center it up like this, and I gotta find a way to keep it level, which it kind of stays a little level. But I got some shims out right here, fireball shims. It's about like 1 15/16 of 32nd under, so pretty good. It's actually 64th. I need a 64th shim because I got a little rock, but I don't have that. But gotta center it up like this now. So what I did with that is I took my tape measure, and I can't really mark right up there, which would have been easier, but mark right here. I got a little mark on the side, and I just eyeballed it like right up there to my mark. Same thing over there, and just drew a line with the ruler. Now I got a big long mark, and I'll put a center mark here, and that should help me center it up like that, and it should be level like that. So we'll see. I got another set of shims. This will sit on top like that, marked it out. So I can center it up, then I can clamp it down, and it helps having the fixture table now. But if I didn't, I would just put this side over here and be able to clamp down like that and just clamp this down. So it's really, fixture table is not needed, but kind of tested out where I want my shims to go, and I want this to go squeeze that way, if that makes sense. So go like that, go on the thing, which is going to be kind of hard. It'd be nice to be able to screw it down and then tack it or whatever, but that's all right. Anyway, got it fit up. Should be able to start tacking this, lining everything up. Then that new shim, like I said, will go right over here to that line. Just clamp everything down and start tacking it. Getting that flat bar clamped down right now and setting the welder up the ground and everything, and just one of many ways to do things. I think I got it clamped down, pretty clamped down like that. Clamp this thing down with my shims. It's gonna be hard to weld underneath it, but probably should have used like 1-inch flat bar, but they wanted to use 2. So, whatever. Got this off camera. Judd helped me hold it down. It kind of took 2 people. Had to like spring it and then clamp it all in one and line it up. Could have did it myself, but just didn't get it on camera. So got it marked out where I need it, shimmed up, which helps because it's got a lot of pressure like that. So I'll tack that, tack this on, and I did a little hole in there, which I should drill a little bit bigger, but I think it's going to open up. But tack those on, plug weld them a little bit too. Then I'll put my angle on underneath, shim that up a little bit, and weld that on. And then I just got my piece, and we're getting close. Just marking out the hinge spots where they got to go on that little piece, shimming it up, clamping it down, clamping the hinges down to that, and trying to tack it on, as you'll see in a second. All right, that was a pain tacking those things. This was probably one of the hardest aluminums I ever had to weld. Just how thin that is. That's like 18 gauge welding to 1/4 inch thick aluminum, and you need about 250 amps to weld that, where this is like 40 amps. So I'm like, my tungsten is like literally like, when I'm like, say I'm trying to weld this bead right here, I'm like right there, like 3/4, ½ inch away, and it's still melting this stuff back. So I had to put a little bead on. I tried this thinner wire, and it was actually easier with the thicker. But what my trick was, put a couple little beads like right here, a couple little dabs on this metal, and then transfer over to here. So I have a little beefier material. Transfer over to here, heat this up for a minute, then blast it kind of a little bit and connect them together and add some wire. But that worked, and I'm gonna end up grinding it down because that's pretty ugly. We should have really just screwed it. I was gonna plug weld it, but it's just opening up, as you can see there. So I might just film up and grind everything down and look a lot better. So a little embarrassing on that one, but not much you could do unless you wanted to upgrade your hinges to like 1/8 inch or 1/4, which I didn't pick them out. So my ugliness, wow, that's embarrassing. I'm not sure if I want to put screws in there or not yet, so waiting on that. If not, I'm just gonna plug up the holes and grind it down with all this and make it look a lot better. I can't leave that will ruin my name right there, even though it'll hold. But now my piece right here, this is going to be this piece like that. So deciding on a length for that, just to stop the gate from closing or whatever. So 3-inch wide is probably good. I could do 3x4 or 3x3, which would probably be good. Maybe I'll do like 3x4, which 3x3 is good, but something like that. And then I'll put a little slot in it. I'll weld half of it to this, then put a slot in it right here, and we'll weld something to the other piece so they can lock it if they want. All right, we're getting there. Skipping over some parts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill and tap these holes, so that'll make it a little better, and then I'll grind off that, make it look a little better. But what I need is 40 inches ID to figure out where to put this and my other piece. So what I did was took out the fixture table, put some pins in, and made 40 inches. Made this. I took a piece of tubing, same size tubing that we're going to use, and made 40 inches ID. And then I just put this piece right on top, how it's going to go. Kind of push it down like that. Make sure that this is sitting flat. Kind of pull it back that way. And got a little bigger gap than I was expecting. I was expecting to have 3/4 inch gap, but we got about a 1 inch gap. I didn't space this quite far enough. Should have made that a little bit more, but that's all right. So I didn't want to just put my little piece in, because that make it look a little uglier like that, which is fine, but you just see that bigger gap. So what I'm going to do is just cut a longer piece and go like that, and it'll just look a lot better. So 4 inches. So what I had to do is figure out where to spacer this. So I think that should work about like that. I did the same thing kind of before, took my square, butted it up like that, took a spacer, because from here to here, inside here to here is 5 inches, so minus 4 inches would be 1 inch, divided by 2 would be ½ inch on each side, and that should bring you pretty close like that to line it up. And then I made my piece centered up like that, so it'd be about like that, and this will get welded on like that, around like that, maybe a little weld underneath. And I got my little tab. This will actually go over like this, and got my little tab, and that'll go about right there with a little hole in it, and that'll get welded to this piece in the field, and this will get welded onto this in the field. And drill a little hole and slot this a little bit for this, and that way they can lock it. So getting to it, a little long explanation, but I skipped a lot of this stuff, so sorry about that. Pretty much it. And yeah, oop, now that's stuck in there, figures. But anyway, that'd be like that. So I gotta drill and slot this, drill that, and weld everything on. All right, moment of truth. Switched it up. This is gonna go like that. So kind of go like that instead of up like that. And this will start welding like that. I think that's good. Pretty simple welding job, welding the rest of this out, so not that much to it. And as I'm editing this video, I realize how kind of boring it is, and I missed a lot of stuff. I think it was just meant to be a little add-on for the last video, so sorry if it's a little boring for you guys. All right, we got that welded on. Got a little weld right there, a little stitch in the middle and around like that. And I might put one underneath on the inside over there. And I might do something for this underneath here. We'll just see what it looks like. All right, we're getting close, ladies and gentlemen. Just ground it down with a flap disc, and it's looking pretty good. Let's see if I could zoom in a little. Looking a lot better. Still some grooves in there, so go. That was just with the flap disc, so I might do it with that after, and then this, and just polish it by hand, and it'll look a lot better. And then I just gotta drill and tap some holes maybe, which really it doesn't need it, but we'll see. But yeah, that came out a lot better. I did it with that wheel, the Scotch-Brite wheel, and then that wheel after, and I think that's looking pretty good. And then afterwards I'll just give it a quick wash off, and I think it'll blend in pretty good. All right, party people, decided not to drill and tap. It's really not needed. It's can't really get through there. So I'm not just gonna leave it. It doesn't even need to be filled up or anything, the holes. So I guess that was pointless to drill them, but that's all right. Here's our other piece. This will go like this. And that gets welded on in the field to the other piece of pipe. And then this gets welded on in the field to the other piece of pipe. And that's it. Pretty simple though. You just bring it there, get some jacks if you want or something, and clamp this right to the part or to the pole, and make sure it's level, or kind of level it out however you want it, wherever you want it up, and weld the back of that and weld this piece on there after that's done and ready to go. But now I'm just gonna give it a quick little washing, not with aluminum cleaner. I'm going to use my Oakite stainless steel welding passivation cleaner, and that shines up this pretty good and cleans it pretty good. The aluminum cleaner kind of doles it out a lot, so the other stuff works a little better. So should look pretty nice afterwards, but I believe this came out a lot better. The welds don't look bad and nice and strong still, so I think that looks a lot better. Cool.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I could have grabbed 2 more.
And just like that, our final product all done. Here's your piece that'll get welded on, nice and clean, finished. I think that came out pretty good, and that little Oakite shined it up really good. So let me know what you think. There she is.